Hey, what's going on, guys? Patriot Prime here with my very first movie review. So if you're new to the channel, welcome. My name is Jason, aka Patriot Prime. And if you're one of my loyal followers and you're wondering, why in the hell am I doing a movie review instead of reviewing a Transformer, let me lay a little history down on you. The Meg is based on the book Meg, a novel of deep terror that was published in 1997. Now, I first saw this book on the bookshelf of a Kmart when I worked as a loss control manager that very same year. Now, the cover featured a giant shark eating a Tyrannosaurus Rex, and that just called to me. I bought the book, took it home, and I was immediately hooked. I think I finished it in like 2 days. I was so impressed that I went and bought the hardcover version. And I have read this multiple times and just recently reread it just to get ready for the new movie. Now, the author Steve Alten can tell a fantastic yet terrifying story with scenes that stick with you for years to come. I mean, my wife and I were at dinner the other night discussing the book, and she still recalls the scene where the Meg gets out of the Mariana Trench to the surface. And I know for a fact she hasn't read that book since 2004 when I was deployed to Iraq. And speaking of that, Steve Alten sent myself and some of my fellow soldiers autographed copies of the Meg and some of his other works while I was on deployment. Now, for those of you that think the Meg is nothing but a Jaws ripoff, you couldn't be more wrong. In a spoiler-free nutshell, the book tells the story of Jonas Taylor, who is a Navy deep-sea submersible pilot who encountered a megalodon in the midnight zone of the Mariana Trench. Now, the midnight zone is the bottom layer of the ocean. The ocean has 3 layers. You've got the sunlight zone, the twilight zone, and then the pitch black, ice cold midnight zone. I would like to thank the Octonauts for helping me with that knowledge. Now, we find out the megalodons have survived on the bottom level of the trench thanks to some volcanic activity on the seafloor, which creates a fourth heated level between the seafloor and the midnight zone, the Meg zone, if you will. The megalodon, of course, escapes the trench in an utterly fantastic way to the upper level of the Pacific Ocean, and it's up to Jonas Taylor and friends to stop the 75-foot monster. Meg was a New York Times bestseller, spawning quite a few sequels. You had the original Meg, The Trench, Primal Waters, Hell's Aquarium, Night Stalkers, and Meg Generations that I'm still waiting on. I can't recommend this series enough for horror and sci-fi fans. I just recently sent a copy of the first book to my friend Tony, who hosts a YouTube channel called Toast and Toys, and he and his wife absolutely loved it. They loved it so much that they bought the entire series and have already read all the books.
He's kidding, right?
Now let's talk about the film. The Meg has been in production for years. Even in my 1997 hardback book, there is a section here where Steve Alten, the author, says he is very grateful to Walt Disney Pictures and its president, David Vogel, for taking on the Meg. So apparently Disney was going to do this at one point. That fell through. A few years later, it goes to New Line Cinema. That fell through. Then we hear rumors that Eli Roth is set to direct, but he was wanting to make this hardcore, gory horror film and release it, but the studio executives didn't want that. They don't want the R-rated movies. They want the PG-13 to bring in the crowd. We come to find out that John Turteltaub, who directed the National Treasure movies, was now taking on the film, and it was going to star Jason Statham, Rainn Wilson, Lee Bingbing, and Ruby Rose. And here we are on August 9th, 2018, and I'm finally getting ready to see the movie I've waited 2 decades for. Will it be worth the wait? Will it live up to the book? Will it live up to the hype? It's time to go find out. Welcome to Patriot Prime Reviews. let's go to the movies. Well, I just got back from my 9:40 showing of The Meg and went and saw it in 3D, so that was pretty cool. And I must say, I absolutely loved that movie. Now, going into it, I did some research and found out it's not really a thing like the book. And having that knowledge ahead of time helped me enjoy it a little bit more. Though it was kind of disappointing not to see any of my favorite scenes from the book on the big screen. I even saw some ample opportunities for those scenes to happen, but they didn't. That being said, it's still a very enjoyable movie. It kind of reminded me of the old monster movies I used to watch with my dad. Now, the story in the film is that a deep sea research base has discovered the Meg Zone layer that I discussed earlier and sends a team down to investigate. Once they get down there, catastrophe happens, as it always does in these monster movies, and Jason Statham's character, Jonas Taylor from the book, has to show up and do a deep sea rescue mission. Of course, the rescue mission is the reason the Meg escapes into the sunshine zone of the ocean. Now, I found the story was good. I really enjoyed the story. I felt like for its 2-hour runtime, it could have been cut back about 30 minutes because there is a lot of useless romance that they're trying to build between Jason Statham's character and Lee Bingbing's character. And it just felt out of place in that movie, especially because Jason Statham is rushing in, or the reason he rushed in is to help save his ex-wife. So I felt that was kind of forced upon the audience. The special effects were outstanding. The shark looked great. I mean, I couldn't complain a bit. I mean, it looked awesome. There was no fake CGI looking moments either. This looked legit. Now, gorehounds are going to be disappointed. The movie is not very gory at all. Well, actually, it does have a lot of blood and guts, just not human blood and guts. Apparently, sea life carnage, the MPAA has no problem with seeing sea life get ripped apart. But if you're a fan of gory monster movies, this isn't it. This is more of the action-adventure monster movie, kind of like the Jurassic Park films. People get eat. You know they get eat, but you don't see a lot of the carnage aftermath. Thought the music was pretty good, had a nice score to it, really helped set the mood for a lot of scenes. And a lot of those scenes, there was a lot of what I like to call oh shit moments that happened throughout the film. One in particular caused me to jump. I'm 6'4", 255 pounds, and I jumped. And unfortunately, I went with a couple buddies of mine. One's also an Army vet, and he laughed at me. I mean, it was one of those jumps where your popcorn comes up. So, jump scares, there's some good tense moments. I really enjoyed it. So, in my personal opinion, I'm giving The Meg a B+. Go check it out. I don't think you'll be disappointed if you know what it is you're going to see. You're going to see a summer blockbuster popcorn monster flick. Now, I do want to thank you for stopping by and checking out my very first movie review. I don't know if I did as good as some of the others on YouTube, but hey, since this is a movie I've waited 21 years to see, and I'm going to see it on opening night, I felt I'd at least give it a shot. And for my Transformer viewers, don't worry guys, I'm coming back with more figure reviews because I just got these guys. So once again, thanks for stopping by. Thanks for checking me out. Now, if you do like Transformers, don't forget to give me a like and subscribe. I've got a lot of modern era and G1 figures that I do like to put in front of this camera. Guys, this is Patriot Prime, signing out. Hooah!